Hello and welcome to a brand new episode. Well, new episode of Reaction. We're reacting to Zaha being voted MVP by Sky Sports for Palace so far this season. I'm joined by Nick. You can see his reaction right there. So,
Roger.
yeah, how you been, Nick?
I'm good. I'm good. Bit of exercise, family time. It's kind of feel a bit guilty that I've got a garden and stuff, but as I've got a dog. I've got to take the dog out for an hour a day. That does me. Bit of work from home, tending the garden, pottering about, taking time over cooking, and just generally slowed right down. It's taken 6 weeks, but I just feel like I'm in a good rhythm, good life rhythm, without rushing about with deadlines and stuff. It's perversely, it's been a nice break, but I don't know if I can do another 6 weeks. You know?
Exactly. I just miss Palace as well. That's another thing that I
Yeah,
miss.
yeah.
Just Palace, going to Selhurst Park week in, week out. Even Roy Hodgson football, which I never thought that I would miss. But yeah, I've been missing everything.
I
So
am.
yeah.
I set my alarm to watch Wilf versus Raheem Sterling on the
Oh
old
yeah.
FIFA. That's how desperate I am for sport.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, Wilf was not happy with the sweaty goals.
With the sweaty goals.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be happy about this. Well, in a way, he should be because he hasn't been criticised. But so what's happened is I won't read the full article. It'll be down in the description down below. But as always, if you do like the video, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. But what Sky Sports basically put out was that Wilf was voted MVP for Palace so far this season, which has caused a reaction for many Palace fans saying that how is that the case? But what they have said is that Zaha has been responsible for over 40% of the team's dribbles and fouls won in the final third this season, and he contributes over a quarter of the Eagles' touches in the box. All pretty impressive when you consider Hodgson's side averaged the seventh lowest possession and seventh lowest passing accuracy this season. So, Nick, first of all, what's your reactions to Zaha being named MVP so far this season?
It's well, no, because I can name you three better players than him this season. Not necessarily overall, and Wilfie's better than them overall, but this season I'd say they were better. I'd also it's lazy journalism. I don't think they've watched all the Palace games. It's different for us. You've been to a few away games. You've seen all the whole game. You've seen all the home games, and statistics don't tell the whole thing. Although I'm going to use some to say why I think Ayew or Gaeta should be, but
Yeah.
it just seems like lazy journalism.
How would you
It
rate
really
Zaha's
does.
season? How would you rate his season so far then?
I'd give him a 6 out of 10. He's just not been at the races for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But there's been moments, but it's unsettled. There was all the talk in January about maybe going to Chelsea sort of in the summer. That's the thing. The season was going to end this week, mate.
Exactly.
Can
But
you know,
it's a bit of a weird one
it's
though.
just, but perhaps we haven't been playing to his. We'd say Benteke, we don't play to his strengths, but he's got a lot of pressure on him, and it's give the ball to Will, give the ball to Wilf, and then he's got 3 or 4 players around him. And what we're seeing is Ayew, he's also getting 3 or 4 players around him, but more often than Wilf, he's getting past them. I think. I don't know what the stats for take-ons are, but he somehow Ayew just gets the better of defenders a little bit more than Wilf's doing this season. I don't know. And
Well, if you're
the other player that should be there is the keeper. But I'll let you talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned stats, but this is what Sky Sports also included. So dribbles attempted by Zaha, 255, ranks first in the Premier League. Successful
Yeah.
dribbles, 136, ranks second best in the Premier League. Fouls won, 94, ranks second best in the Premier League. Fouls won in the final third, 31, ranks second best in the Premier League. And touches in the opposition box, 192, ranks third best in the Premier League. So when you look at the stats, it does show that he hasn't been doing much wrong because this is not stats based on Palace. This is the whole Premier League. And you look at the quality of the players that are playing. But for some reason, when watching Wilf this season, it seems like he hasn't been given the opportunities, as you have said, at the right time where we have seen in previous seasons. So personally, I feel like his defensive duties has a bit of a toll on him this season, and also it seemed like we have the thing about these stats. What I think is that yes, he might have completed successful dribbles and everything, but most times he's triple teamed or double teamed, so he can't be his
Yeah.
creative self and get assists and goals. But I feel like that's due to the system that we're playing. And overall, I don't think when you watch Wilf this season, I don't think he's been one of our better players. But when you look at his stats, it does show that.
Another difference is he's not winning as many penalties, so he's not getting the ball in the penalty area as often as he has done. All right, your stat says that he's had the most touches in the penalty area, but what that stat doesn't tell you is what these touches were. Were they passes? Were they missed kicks? Were they, you just don't know. But I think the thing is we've seen him a lot better. So perhaps because he's not been up to his usual standard. And I said to you on an earlier show, I think it might have been a Love Sport show, that I asked the question, has Wilf peaked? Is he past his best? Is he at his best? What's he got left? So who knows?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I've always said this as well on the Love Sport shows and everything. I feel like if we were to sell Wilf, I don't want us to sell Wilf, but we have to consider it over the next couple of seasons because he's turning 29. So he's reached, age-wise, he's reaching his peak. We don't know about ability. This might be his peak, this might not be. But there's another thing to also consider. Before this whole coronavirus mess came about, he was actually playing pretty well because he actually got the freedom to go forward and we weren't relying so much on him. So I feel like overall, the coronavirus has impacted us as a whole, everyone, but I think it's impacted Wilf the most because he was actually enjoying his football and before the whole mess went about. But so you mentioned Jordan Ayew and Vicente Gaeta. Out of them two, who would you pick for MVP this season?
Just Jordan, just because he deserves it. I think he deserves the plaudits. Vicente, I don't know. Is this a freak season for Ayew, or is it been building up and building up? I mean, can he maintain it? But it's just I've had more joy watching Jordan this season than any other player. Just we don't know what he's going to do with the ball. I mean, look at the goal, the games he's won for us, the two West Hams. I mean, that goal of the season, goal of the last 5 years for me. I watched it again earlier on when we were talking about should Wilf be player of the season, and he should get it just for that goal. He really should. But Vicente, he's instilled a confidence. It doesn't matter who is in the back four, and it's been very mixed up this season. Unsettled. So the fact that we're still getting lots of clean sheets, 9 clean sheets, is it? Only 28 goals let in 27 games. For a defence that old and mixed up, the keeper's got to be doing something right. He had an error which lost us the game, and we can forgive him for that. But yeah, he's been good as well.
Yeah, well, Jordan Ayew, the thing about Jordan Ayew this season is that, yes, he has been scoring the goals and we haven't been expecting that. But the most important factor is that them goals have come up big and them goals have not been easy. There's some goals, as you said, against West Ham, likes of Brighton, he's come up big in stages where we would expect the likes of Wilf. And that's no criticism to Wilf because I have wanted this. I wanted someone to step up other than Wilf. So the fact that Jordan Ayew is doing this has been incredible it hasn't helped Wilf overall during the season, but I feel like if Jordan Ayew and Wilf stays next season and we play a bit more rely on the other side of the wing and focus on the right wing instead of left wing so much on Wilf, then I feel like everyone could benefit from this. But as you said, Vicente Gaeta, another one. It's always against West Ham, but that game when we faced West Ham away from home, he saved us literally single-handedly. And he's had many other games like that as well. And I think it's a difficult one. And I understand why Palace fans have been annoyed due to this because, it seems like lazy journalism, but the stats prove that. And for me personally, I would have to go with Jordan Ayew due to the fact of the goals. You take away his 8 goals, I think it's contributed. I don't have the exact figures, but before the coronavirus thing happened, he contributed around between 10 to 20 points, which would basically put us in relegation zone without his goals. And for that fact alone, I have to go with Jordan Ayew. Yeah,
definitely. I agree with you there. I was just thinking, how would Gyro have done had PVA not come back? Because the way he was beginning to come through, he could have been a contender for I hate the phrase MVP. Can we just get
Yeah.
back to player of the season, please?
Yeah, exactly. It's so like Americanized term. He's in America for like NBA. I'm not too sure if they use it for other sport, but yeah, MVP of the season. Yeah, Gyro's a. I mean, the impact he calls and the amount of games he's played has been significant. He hasn't played that many games, but he just settled in straight away. He came against Watford, done all right then kept his position. But overall, there's been talks about Gyro, can you offer what PVA can offer going forward? So for that reason alone, I don't think Gyro has also played the amount of games that he should have to even be in this conversation as much. I think you need to play a certain amount of games, and I feel like maybe Gary Cahill could be an underdog that we haven't talked about.
Well, he's been better than Will. I was talking to Will, my son, about it before we came on, and he said Cahill's been better than Wilf.
Yeah,
he's just added that stability at the back.
So I think it's a four-man race. Yeah.
But maybe that's because we expect so much more from Wilf that we're being a bit mean on him. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, his production hasn't been that great, but I feel like some of the stats do show it. I mean, he's been ranking one of the best in the Premier League in terms of dribbles and fouls and touches in the position box. But I feel like in terms of if Wilf wants to go to the next level, if he wants to play for the likes of City and the Arsenals, I feel like he has to contribute in terms of goals and assists. And it's not all Will's fault, as I've said. I feel like it's due to how we play, but it is what it is. I mean, so let's get your final verdict. So for me, it's Jordan Ayew.
Apologies.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so I'd go with Jordan Ayew. Apologies for the cooking in the background.
It's fine. I don't think anyone would.
Apologies for the kitchen staff.
It's fine. You're living the MVP life. You're the MVP of the house. But yeah, I'll go with Jordan Ayew as well. But make sure to leave down your comments below. Let us know what you think. Who's your MVP of the season? Do you agree with Sky Sports? And yeah, hopefully we'll do more of these videos in lockdown.
Yeah. Not at mealtime though.
Yeah. All right then. All right. Thank you for joining me, Nick.
You're right. Take care.
Thank you.